లైవ్ స్ట్రీమింగ్ స్టార్ట్ చేసిన ఏం మాట్లాడారు స్టార్టెడ్ లైవ్ స్ట్రీమింగ్ స్టార్టెడ్ ఓ ఢిల్లీ
Osmania University is one of the first higher education institutions in southern India, private independent. The main campus of the university lies in the heart of Hyderabad city on Princess The university's emphasis on providing purposeful education and its relentless quest for excellence on enemies among other universities in the region. Place 22nd in the National Institutional Ranking for 2022. We have achieved a significant success with the realization of our distinctive human health approach, coming together of the company, business capacity, and government and public sector in our cause. Determination to make a significant difference for our students, the economy, and wider society. Critical of the agenda reinforces this approach. It presents a way in which we will ensure continued progress as an institution which is bold, innovative, and ambitious in its mission. Our plan has been to focus on teaching learning process with outstanding student experience, research and innovation, infrastructure, and outreach. Osmania's educational ethos and approach has been promoted and implemented. Designed to provide an intellectual and stimulating environment, our commitment to generate an outstanding student experience is characterized. Our mission is ways of useful learning, delivering fostering academic excellence and achievement. In this direction, we have revamped our whole system with contemporaries, creating flexible environments that individuals from a variety of backgrounds from the distinctive student experience. Towards realizing the diversity of excellence in teaching and learning, the following set of initiatives are launched, reducing the student-faculty ratio from its current 25 to 5 developing and implementing our effective admission criteria through the quality of experience, limiting the number of admitted students to cap undergraduate enrollment, and while effective teaching and learning methodologies stimulate students' creativity, improve their critical thinking and skills, and instill in them responsibility to learn from learning, strengthen promote excellence in teaching the state-of-the-art infrastructure with enhancing learning, all academic programs including extracurricular activities. Continue to update programs to ensure well-qualified lectures in time demand. training workshops for faculty members on new approaches from teaching and learning, provide a healthy teaching and learning environment inside and outside the classrooms. Expanding our research profile.
Place let's go. More seat. Three. एग्जाम्पल उठा के हमारा कमाना पूरा है
Research support. Structure needed for research. Establish a technology translator. We will strengthen our strategy focus on collaborative research. Actively offering
लाइट ऑफ है हटा दो नीचे कर दो नीचे कर दो बंद कर दो बंद जाइए नहीं ना वो अपन को नहीं आ रहा जी समझ में प्लीज एक बार जाओ ना एक्सक्यूज मी सर सर टेक योर सीट प्लीज अरे हटाओ इन लोग सर प्लीज टेक योर सीट आई विल टेक वन शॉट एक्सक्यूज मी सर 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 प्लीज प्लीज सीटेड सर बैठ रहे थोड़ा ऑटो बढ़े भाई सबको हटा तुम आ गए तो बीच में लाइटिंग डाल रहा जी अरे ये नहीं हटाते यहाँ से तो ये हटाओ जी हाँ
ensuring continuous management sustainability and Please.
Check audio. Check audio. Check audio. Oh, sorry. ట్రైపాడ్ మీద పెట్టేస్తాము అంటే చెక్ కోసం
So very good morning to one and all. I, Shilpa Reddy from Vishwani Institute of Management would like to extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries and esteemed guests from the academia gathered here today for the stakeholders workshop on approval process 2024 and 25 by All India Council for Technical Education South Central Region, Hyderabad. May I now invite all the dignitaries onto the dais. So we'd like to invite Dr. Abhay Jere, Honorable Vice Chairman AICTE, to come on to the dais. Please grace the dais. Thank you, sir. Now, may I request Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar Garu, Chief Coordinating Officer, NDAT, AICTE, to grace the dais. Thank you, sir. Now, may I request Sri K.V. Ramana Babu, Secretary, SBTET, Andhra Pradesh, to grace the dais. May I request Dr. Ramesh Unikrishnan Garu, Advisor AICTE, to grace the dais. Now I request Professor Lakshmi Narayana Garu, Registrar OU, to grace the dais. So may I request B. Venkatesh Garu, Secretary, to come onto the dais and grace the dais. Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Anil Kumar Sharma ji, Assistant Director AICTE, to deliver the welcome speech. Sir, please.
Very good morning to all.
Professor R. Dimantri Garu, Chairman, Higher Education, Telangana State, to come raise the dais.
Now I'll hand over to Dr. Shilpa.
Thank you very much for setting a delightful tone for the rest of the event, sir. Lighting the lamp is a symbolic moment that signifies the dispelling of darkness and igniting of thought and enlightenment. It's our honor to invite all the dignitaries who have graced the dais for the light lamping ceremony. I request all the dignitaries to assemble for the light lamping ceremony. So please. I request our students Aarti and Srinijin for their prayer song. Thank you, Aarti and Srinijin. So it's now time to felicitate our dignitaries for their voluntary contributions. So now I request Dr. Abhay Jere garu to felicitate B. Venkatesan garu. Sir, please.
Silent చేశారు, వైబ్రేట్ చేశారు. I request Professor Lakshmi Narayana garu, Registrar, Osmania University, to felicitate Dr. Abhay Jere garu. Honorable Vice Chairman, AICTE. I request Professor R. Imbadri garu to felicitate Professor Lakshmi Narayana garu, Registrar OU. Okay, Vice Chairman. Now I request Shri B. Venkatesan garu, IAS, Principal Secretary, Higher Education, Telangana, to address the gathering. Sir, please.
Good morning to all of you, especially Distinct Vice Chairperson, AICTE, and Honorable Dais and the AICTE Dais. We are happy that the AICTE is conducting this kind of seminars where the public understand the approach process and the difficulties in the way things happen with the AICTE's interaction. So many times it happens that AICTE being Delhi and then the involved in getting the approvals. Sometimes it is very time consuming, sometimes it is laborious, sometimes it is like some places it is also seen as harassment. So all things put together, if a stakeholder meetings happen, then everybody understands where the lacuna lies, where the problem lies. So once that problem is identified, no regulatory institution or no organization with professionally managed would ever like to have a lengthy process or a laborious process for the approval process. Nowhere in the world, if any organization is worth its salt, worth its name, nobody would like to have a difficult process of approval. It has to be as smooth as possible, as breeze as possible, so that the approval or the journey together will become much more meaningful. See, all of you, whether you are a university or whether you are a private engineering college or a government engineering college or a private polytechnic or whatever organization you are, everybody, we are in the job of giving quality education to the children. In the process, there may be some difficulties, there may be some of the organizations, some of the individuals may not be really interested in quality education. Very few people may be interested in just making money. So to reel in that kind of people, this approval kind of process or a regulatory bodies are required. Otherwise, if everybody is behaving in this the fashion in which they are supposed to function, there is no need for any regulatory body. Suppose there is no signal on the road, how many of us will be going in the direction which we are going in a smooth manner? None of us. Suddenly everybody would like to be in a rush and rude manner that it becomes a chaos. So people by themselves are not self-regulated because their personal interest is to have more comfort for them. So just to regulate few people, our regulatory body has come. When a regulatory body comes, they will put in certain norms because it can't be on their own, whatever they want to do, nobody can do. Like suppose X comes, I will behave in different way, Y comes, I will behave in different way, then Z comes, I will behave in a different way, then it's not called a professional management. So then we set up certain regulatory instruments. Like, okay, you should have this much of land or this much of infrastructure and you should have this many teachers, a faculty versus student ratio, or this many seminars should be conducted, or this kind of methodology should be adopted, this kind of examination should be conducted. So a transparent system is created. So that is where the stakeholders and the regulatory body or the facilitating body should have a constant interaction, so that it becomes very easy to follow and also easy to govern or to facilitate. So that is where we are very happy that the AICTE is conducting this kind of seminars. So these kind of interactions with stakeholders, especially the management side, if they go very well on a continuous basis, it will bring in lots of quality of higher education. So once quality comes in, the people who are coming out of that institutions will be a bright future. And once the bright youngsters are coming out of our professional colleges, our technical institutions, the country is making a big progress. Now we are in the very, very important time of our country, very, very important time of our country. We have just completed 75 years of Indian independence, now going towards centenary years of Indian independence, now 2047. So now this particular 25 years, if India really takes care of its educational needs, especially technical education needs and professional education needs, there is no stopping for it. This Indian brain is very sharp. It's so sharp that it gets into various dimensions. So we lack focus, that is the only problem. Only problem with Indian brain is it doesn't have a focus. Whereas a lesser intellectual person in various other countries I have seen, they are able to get better results because they have a focused approach. That is the difference. So that focus approach will come when you are coming out of a quality education. That coming from a quality process. So that's where this kind of seminars will be helping. I request AICTE to conduct this kind of seminars more often, maybe in small groups also, maybe in tier 2 cities also, like there are a number of institutions in Warangal, there are a number of institutions in, say, Karimnagar area. So less than 100, that kind of interaction, less than 50 people, then you have time. Suppose here there are about 1,000 people, it will be like a monologue. People on the dais will talk and they will, few of them will be given opportunity. Finally, it becomes a kind of speeches. So from there to a professional seminar, workshop kind of thing, not more than 100, but ideally around 50 to 100 kind of small interaction sessions. May not be that every time a vice chairman level person may not be able to come, but somewhere this kind of interaction is smaller groups where everybody gets an opportunity to talk and put forth their idea. That will be very, very important. From state government side, being the principal secretary of the education department and including the higher education, I will give you full support for this kind of workshop and whatever is required for you to take up. Because Telangana should stand as technology center. Telangana for technology, that is our noun. Telangana means technology. Telangana means tradition. So this is the, without losing our tradition, but we are also going towards technology. TOT, technology for Telangana, Telangana for technology, or Telangana of technology. So that is the way we should progress. So AICTE has a very, very big role in molding the institutions in a very professional manner, where our student who is coming out of Telangana institutions, if they are going anywhere in the country or anywhere around the globe, they should be accepted with open arms. People should welcome, because they will know that the institutions in Telangana, technical education institutions, are so professionally managed, and the children coming out of those institutions are bright and they have complete knowledge about what they have studied so far. But as of now, lots of things have to change, because some of the engineering colleges, some of the colleges where the faculty, required quality of faculty is not that up to the mark. A student who is coming out of the college suddenly again becomes a lecturer there, or whatever reader, professor, whatever name you give, he becomes, and finally the degree is available in their hand, but the approach is not there. And finally they are landing as data entry operators or home guards. Somewhere I have seen many of the students who are coming up the technical education institutions lining for data entry operators. That should be left to for ITI people, or even short courses like 6 months course kind of thing. Hey, engineering students should not compete for these kind of jobs like constable or home guards kind of thing. If these people who are on the top ladder compete for that, then what will happen to the people who could not get this technical education? They are completely, they will be left out of the education or employment stream. So kindly take this note of these things, and please see that the interactions become more meaningful, more purposeful, more interactive, so that everybody's problem is understood, addressed, so that it's a happy, meaningful journey towards the either facilitation and management of this college. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your thought-provoking speech on quality education, sir. May I now request Dr. Abhay Jere, Honorable Vice Chairman, AICTE, to deliver the presidential address, sir, please.
Honorable Principal Secretary for Higher Education, Government of Telangana, Professor Nipari, dignitaries on the dais of the dais. First, I would really like to thank Osmania University for giving us the opportunity for holding this workshop at such a lovely campus. So thank you, Osmania University. Sincerely appreciate it. I would also like to thank all the dignitaries who have come from different institutions for this consultation workshop. And as our Principal Secretary said, let's have a dialogue rather than a monologue. So after our presentation, we will have a dedicated question answer session. And we will take as many questions as possible. And even during lunch, our people are available for you if you have anything very specific. Under the leadership of our Honorable Chairman, E.G. Sitaram, we have released this approval process handbook. And if you see this approval process handbook, there has been a sea change in the policies, in the way we are going to approach. And if you have read it carefully, I don't know many of you have read it carefully or not. Just you might have looked into it, right? But on the first page itself, you will see that we are exploring the possibility of giving approval for 3 years, right? And that is the reason this approval process handbook is from 24 to 27. Till last year, we were only giving it for 1 year. But after consultation with a lot of people, we felt that our good performing institutions should not go through the pain of coming to us on a regular basis or an annual basis. And if we can give them approval for 3 years to start with, then their life also becomes easy, our life also becomes easy. So ease of doing business. So this entire approval process handbook, if you really look at, is focusing on ease of doing business. But when we are talking about well-performing institutions, for which this 3-year approval process handbook will be given, or 3-year approval will be given, we have also laid down the criteria very systematically. And if you fall in any of those criteria, you will be eligible. Okay? So this is the first important change which we have got. The other important change is we are now going to allow our colleges off campuses. How many of you have read about this and aware of this off-campus thing? For the first time we have got it. Universities were allowed to have off-campuses. But our colleges were not allowed to have off-campuses. And from this time, we are going to allow. And the reason is, in many of the metro cities, due to scarcity of land, due to shortage of infrastructure sometimes in the vicinity, the colleges have to move out, you know. And we should allow them for the well-performing institutions. So we said we will have very, very clear norms and guidelines. In approval process handbook, there is only one paragraph, but we are working on the guidelines for off campuses, where we are going to categorize off campuses in 3 different categories: category 1, category 2, and category 3. And in any of those categories, the norms are going to look a bit different. We are going to release those norms maybe in next 1 or 2 days. So I will answer some of the questions during our discussion if required. Okay? So this is the second most important thing which we have got. The third is we are going to be liberal, or we have removed cap on intake for our colleges. Again, it's a good news for many of them, because on one side we have private universities where they don't follow any cap, and on the other side we are capping all our good institutions. So we are creating shackles for them. So we said that we would like to create a level playing field where our institutions can compete on quality with some of the universities, private universities. But for that, you have to make investments in advance. You have to have your infrastructure. You have to have your faculty in place. We will not say, or you cannot say, that पहले अप्रूवल दे दो, बाद में हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर या फैकल्टी दें. We are not going for that. And then we are going to monitor. There will be EVCs which will be conducted. Our visits will be there. They could be online visits, offline visits, hybrid visits that we will look into. It will change from case to case. But we will be monitoring the performance. Another important thing, which, and before the starting session, me and Principal Secretary were also discussing, and he actually highlighted some of the issues. When we spoke about that, from this year, AICTE is going to give approvals to BBA and BCA courses. Those courses are going to come under our domain. And I don't know how many of you are aware, but yesterday night, UGC has also issued a notification in this regard. If you want, I can share the copy of notification after this session. But there is a good news for BBA and BCA institutions. And the good news is, we are going to give them approval on as-is, where-is basis. Means what? We are not going to ask you to make any changes. जैसे है वैसे ही. You are getting? And that is only for this year. So please take this opportunity. We don't know how it happened, but as per AICTE Act passed by Parliament in 1987, AICTE is mandated to give approvals or to govern diploma, graduate and postgraduate studies in technology, management and allied subjects. However, the earlier people missed on it. But considering the spirit and actual letter of the Act, we are mandated to do that, and we are going to do it. But we are aware about your apprehensions. We are aware about your fears. We are aware about your present condition. And as a result, we have taken a decision that all our BBA and BCA institutions, which will come into our fold, will get approval in 3 to 5 days on as is where is basis. And when we say as is where is basis means what? Means you don't have to change any management structure. You don't have to create any additional infrastructure. We are going to accept the way your faculty is. You don't have to change any admission structure. You don't have to change any affiliation to university. You don't have to change your fee structure. So, as is, where is basis. Am I clear on this? Okay? So, this is a one-time opportunity. And please avail it. And we are going to make investments on them. We are going to invest on our BBA institutions, on faculty development programs. Large number of faculty development programs will be done. We will handhold them, we will support them. We are going to come up with QIP programs. We are making them eligible for it. Where if any of the faculty member wants to do MPA, MTech or PhD, we are going to fund them. We are going to give scholarships to students. We have scholarship schemes like Pragati, Saksham, through which we are going to fund them. Then they will be eligible for our research promotion schemes, for getting grants. So there are more benefits because we are also a government. We also are taking care of our interest of our institutions. So there are more benefits of coming to us rather than being out of the door. Okay? And that is the reason UGC has issued a notification in this regard yesterday. And even UGC has mentioned that colleges will get benefited with multiple schemes which AICTE is actually having. So this is a very, very important aspect which you should not forget. Our approval process currently is on. We have given special dates for our BBA, BCA. For our normal institutions, the last day of submission is 31st of Jan. But for BBA, BCA institutions, I think it is 23rd of Feb. Right? 23rd of Feb. Because we know you will struggle. And as Principal Secretary Sir was saying, that many times there are apprehensions, and he was suggesting that we should have a small discussion meetings or groups where we can address your queries. And for that, because we are a central government institution, we may not be able to do in each state of 100. What we have done is that we are going to do daily podcasts. We will use technology. And some of the other members will be available on podcast to answer your queries on daily basis. So you just click that link, join for that particular period, 2 hours. Someone from the approval bureau will be sitting there. It's all online. You can ask your query, they will resolve it, and you can move on. Because from this year, we want to ensure that you don't come to AIC, we will come to you. That's a change in mindset which we are trying to follow. We will go to our stakeholders. We will make their life easy. Because if we don't do that, then the talk of all ease of doing business actually will not happen or actually will not materialize. There are a lot of other reforms which we have got. We have got rid of large number of documents which are related to land and so on. You know, and yes, internally when we were discussing, the colleges say इतना है ये 20 land के documents मांगेंगे. We will ask them. We internally asked, and when we look at those documents, we said, भगवान भी नहीं पाएगा ये document. You know? And we asked कि AICTE के जहां बिल्डिंग है उसमें भी है क्या ये सब डॉक्यूमेंट? But then our team sat, Ramesh was part of it. We got rid of many of the documents, unnecessary documents which we were asking. They are restricting only to 2 or 3 documents. Because our focus is on our quality. And for that, we are getting a lot of QIP programs. Because on one side, you see there is no admission or less admission happening in some of the core branches. And there is a rush towards emerging areas. And large number of colleges came to us saying that, sir, there is a fear of loss of jobs with a lot of faculty members which were engaged in core regions or core sector or core field. Because the number is coming down. Earlier the approval was for maybe 180 seats, then it came to 90, then it came to 60, and now some of the institutions have even 30. So what happens to the faculty? So again, Ramesh went ahead and actually devised a QIP scheme. Specifically, it's a completely new, although the name is QIP certification program, in collaboration with various IITs. It's a 6-month program where we are going to handhold the faculty of core branches and train them in various IITs and NITs. And once they are trained in emerging areas, we are going to allow them even to teach in emerging areas. Again, this is going to be a big thing, a big change, which we are trying to bring in. Other things are, all our AICTE approved institutions now will be default approved for doing all skill related courses. You don't have to come to us for any special approval for doing skill related courses. आपको B.Org चलाना है, यूनिवर्सिटी ने दे दिया, हमको कोई टेंशन नहीं. आपको बाकी 3 months के स्किलिंग कोर्सेज, 6 months के स्किलिंग कोर्सेज चलाने हैं. Just work with Skill India or your sector skill councils, do those courses. You don't have to come to us for getting any kind of approvals related to skilling, because skilling is very critical now. And when you have made so much of investments in your institutions, you can do easily skilling courses, right? When you can teach an engineering program, what stops you from teaching skilling courses? So you can go ahead and do that. So you will get default approval for skilling courses. So, as I said, first, no cap provided. But when I am saying no cap, please understand that from tomorrow we are not going to allow 2,000 and 5,000. Please allow, please understand that. We are also going to go slowly. We have adopted that philosophy. But we want to see how colleges are responding to it. Okay? We are going to trade very carefully. So if you are currently, if you are having 400 intake and tomorrow you ask for 4,000 intake, it's not going on. I will be very honest here. Okay? But it will eventually happen. Maybe in due course of time. Okay? And that is the reason. We would also like to work with you. We will also like to see how our colleges are performing. Because as you are aware, there are a lot of good performing institutions, but there are a lot of people who try to game the system. And that is the reason AICTE is trying to come up with a very balancing act, that all the institutions which are good performing institutions or well performing institutions, for them sky should be the limit for the growth. But bad performing institutions should be penalized to an extent that they really feel the pinch. That is going to be our philosophy. And the reason I am reiterating this point, or again repeating this point, is because now we have liberalized, large number of people will start approaching you. Middlemen. Okay, we will help you do things. Last year it happened that there were calls going to colleges, some people claiming that they are vice chairmen and chairmen. That Professor Sitaram joined, and actually with his DP on WhatsApp, calls started going to colleges. Okay, I am appointing this fellow to facilitate. If you have any problem, please reach out to this guy. So we understand, we are not appointing any middlemen. So if anyone approaches you or any phone call comes from member secretary AICTE or vice chairman AICTE or chairman AICTE, please don't entertain such calls. We are not going to call you. Okay? Also stay away from these middlemen. And that is the reason we are going to start with all these podcasts and those kind of things, so that we directly communicate with you. And we make your life easy. So you don't have to go to others. If you really look at our approval process handbook also, the length or the width, thickness has come down considerably. We have removed all nonsense things which were there. Because I was told when we joined that, sir, when you release a approval process handbook, the first job of the person who is the coordinator is to take earlier approval process handbook, take new and compare page by page what are the changes which are getting made or which are made, you know. And it's a futile exercise. It's an absolute waste of time. So we said we will get an approval process handbook for 3 years to start with. And from next year, if some changes are to be made, we will actually issue a corrigendum or an addendum, maybe a 1-page, 2-page, not more than that. Why you have to print everything again and create problems for institutions? So we also want to reduce unnecessary burden on our institutions. So see, these are the changes which we have got. Ramesh will do a very detailed presentation in this regard. And post presentation, we all will be there to actually answer your queries. And we hope that there is a healthy dialogue. So when you are asking your questions also, don't ask very specific to your own institution. questions which are relevant for people. Ask questions which are sensible. And we will be more than happy to go ahead and address your queries. Thank you very much once again for listening to me. And we hope that together we will work for the betterment of this entire technical education of this country. Because as Principal Secretary Sir rightly said, and this is also the face of our government, that next 25 years are extremely critical for us and we have to focus on quality. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us valuable insights on the approval process. May I now request Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar Garu, Chief Coordinating Officer, NAT AICTE, to address the gathering on Viksit Bharat 2047 and Anuvadam. Sorry, due to some technical errors. Moving ahead, may I now request Shri Prashant Velivandi Garu, State Engagement Officer, NSDC Telangana, to address the gathering on the Skill India World Skill Initiative, MSD. Sir, please.
I request all the dignitaries on the dais to go in the front row, please, so that the presentation will start soon.